just in my mouth? What the fuck?
Already did.
Oh my god!
Shake your foreskin.
Get that with me! Brad, what time is it?
It is Yonko cast time.
Seth, what time is it?
11:11.
Make a wish! It's Yonko cast time! Hi guys, how's it going? We are back with another episode 3 of the Yonko cast. Super excited for this episode. Obviously, the band list is just about to take place here in a little over a week. Little under a week in Japan, a little over a week for us. We're super excited for the band list coming out, and we can't wait to see the full implications of that.
Can't come soon enough, baby.
Cannot come sooner enough. There's already been a couple of tournaments in Japan that have done that. But before we get started with the video, hi, my name is Ryan, and here are my two co-hosts,
Brad.
Seth.
and guys, we are so excited to be here. How was your guys this week?
It's been a week.
Honestly, since I don't have a real job, pretty good.
It's been pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's pretty alright.
All right. Boys, we are going to talk about today starter decks. We're going to talk about the new starter decks. We're going to talk about some of our favorite starter decks in general. And then at the end of the video, we are going to draft pick our top 5 starter deck leaders, not including the 15 through 20 starter deck leaders, because they are just reprints of leaders that have already been in the game.
Yeah, set leaders, right?
So, depending on how long this video is, we may also double draft, because I think it would be fun to do set leaders too. But we'll do all arcs on set leaders if we've got the time. If we've got the time for it, we'll see. Okay. But let's go ahead and get started. We'll just start out with we'll just go in order 15 through 20. So let's go ahead and pull up starter deck 15, which I forgot which one that is. I'm not gonna lie. Dragon of Courage, because somehow One Piece Digimon came up. I believe it's Whitebeard. Whitebeard should be starter deck 15, correct?
Maybe? I could be wrong.
Yes,
I'm
starter deck 15 is Edward Newgate. Edward Newgate. And then after that, I think it goes Green Uta, Dofi, Luffy, Smoker, Kata. So.
Yep. Can you share the deck list in our chat?
Oh my gosh, I can't. I don't know what that means. Yeah, give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. Alright, I'm just going to share the link that has all the decks on there. So. Some technical difficulties. We were not prepared, guys. I kind of threw everybody a loop a little bit. Not gonna lie.
No, that's my fault.
It's your fault.
That was my fault.
Michel Seth. There you go. It's in the schedule chat.
In the skibbity doo doo.
In the skibbity toilet chat. I hate it here.
I need to leave.
And that's the end of the episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Alright. Starter deck 15. Edward Newgate. So let's talk about the reprints in this starter deck. So number 1 comes with the Searcher, which is really nice.
Okay, are they?
Comes with the 2K being Jozu. And then we also get Marco, Blocker Marco.
Yep.
These are the biggest, the more important reprints.
I didn't know Blocker Marco was
Yeah. These are like the bigger, most impactful reprints for this starter deck. But then we have quite a few decent new cards. The first one I think we should talk about is the 1-drop, which is also a 2K, which is Thatch.
Oh my god, he's fucking 2K?
Yep, Thatch is a
2K.
He's a 1-drop 2K,
Okay.
so we have another searchable 2K for the deck. On play, if your leader's type includes Whitebeard Pirates, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. Then add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. So we're already doing the thing where we're kind of accelerating the additional life, and it's a 2K, and it's a reducer, which is really important for the new Whitebeard card that comes in the set, which we'll get into a little bit later. the whole bottom row, by the way, if you guys are in that starter deck, is all the like important new stuff.
Mhm.
So, Brad, I'll let you pick a card from the bottom row and talk about it.
I'm just gonna shoot my shot and talk about this new SR Newgate.
Alright.
So 7 cost, 8K, Whitebeard types obviously. On play, giving Arrested Dawn to a leader or character. That's always a relevant effect, I feel, because it's just free power going on to something for a nice bigger swing. And then activate main, you can rest this character KO an opponent's character with 5K power or less. That, I think, definitely gives the deck quite a big boost in terms of power level, because an issue Whitebeard had was all we really had for power reduction was if you're playing Otamas and then Ace. So it was sometimes a little bit tricky to still be able to play on curve like Red often wants to do, but still also be able to swing over stuff.
Yeah.
But with this now, especially with some of the power reduction, like with Thatch or even with Rush Ace, I think having that extra removal will help clear bodies and then not have to worry about swinging at those bodies, so that way they can just keep pressure on the opponent's life.
Yeah, that's fair. I think another big important thing about this card is its typing. It is Whitebeard Pirates, but it is also 4 Emperors. So this card is playable in Chains, which I low-key a little bit excited for. Not that I think anything is like 4 Emperors locked in that deck, not that I can like really recall, but I still think it's cool because moving forward, if we get like some kind of deck that is red and something else, and we get a 4 Emperor Searcher, this card is searchable for it, so I think a little bit important. Mr. Seth, go ahead and pick the next card.
I wanna wrap right around to the Thatch real quick. My question is this list only for Whitebeard? Like, I don't think Ace would ever play it. I don't think Marco would ever play it. I can see the world where we play it.
I could see Marco playing it because it's an extra searchable 2K, right? Because now the deck can play up to 8 searchable 2Ks, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but like a lot of the Marco lists we saw that were actually performing were already playing like peel-offs and stuff, right? So like the likelihood of them wanting to have something that's just take their own life is very interesting. I like the thought of it in Ace, but I think if Whitebeard was to come back, I could see it being played because it is searchable. Because of like Otama thing, you had like a couple draws where you'd miss if you weren't like the weird Zorro version of it.
Right. This very much more makes the deck more mono Whitebeard, red, at least red Whitebeard, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is really important. The only I don't think Marco plays it. There may be a world where Ace personally plays it just because it is a 2K. And if you're playing against like certain colors that are just going to stall your life anyway, this is a good way for you to pick up your own life and just have additional cards in hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it again does the reducing thing that you want it to, because even in like the Ace deck, like you have cards like Fire Fist and stuff that KO other stuff that's smaller. So this just helps with that, right?
I knowing that the Thatch is a 2K now, because I genuinely thought he was a 1K. I saw the same stat line and I was like, oh, he's obviously a 1K. I think he plays really well with Ninebeard, but outside of that, I don't know if he sees any other play outside of just Whitebeard.
I think he's leader locked, right? So it's Whitebeard Pirates.
He's Whitebeard Pirates, yes, but what I mean is like Marco, Ace.
I think Ace will play it because of cards like Fire Fist.
I can see that.
The what's the 7-drop, the 4 Emperor card, because it KOs a card and then gives double attack and boost, right?
I think we'd have to see how Marco develops.
I don't think Marco plays this for sure, but Ace, I definitely see Ace playing it.
Okay, I can see that.
So,
I guess the card that I do want to talk about is this other new blocker.
Oh, the 3-drop.
Yeah,
The 3-drop. Yeah, King Do.
King Do, guys.
King Do, man, he got to do. Let me tell you,
You gotta do it.
he got to do.
It's very interesting.
So go ahead and read off its stat lines, its effect, and we'll talk about it.
We got a 3-cost, 4K power, Whitebeard type only, blocker. Opponent's turn when this character is KO'd by an effect up to one of your leaders gain 2,000 power during this turn.
Oh, that's pretty turn.
For the turn.
Yeah,
It's really interesting.
it is really interesting.
It has like the Shirahoshi effect, right?
Yes, and then a card like this in certain matchups is going to be relevant because we have a lot of stuff that just wants to KO. We have black wants to KO.
Like
we
we-
have
No one thought Shirahoshi was going to play, right?
right, and Shirahoshi is one of those cards that like is kind of just a free block, but this also is just a card that you technically could aggro with if you needed to, right? Because 1 Dawn investment, it becomes a 5k, so it's an easy investment. Funny enough, this card is not leader locked, so
No, it is not.
So-
that was my next point.
so all my Zoro players out there, where you at?
Whitebeard's World, let's go.
Whitebeard Zoro, let's go.
Let's go.
So, but this card has a lot of potential, I think. It really just depends on kind of how the meta moves forward, because we already know Dofi, and we'll get to Dofi eventually, because that might need to be our last deck we talk about.
We're chow. Calm down there. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
But you know, it really just depends on how the meta progresses and move forward for this card to really see development in the future. But I think as of right now, it seems like a very solid card.
Yep.
And again, could very well potentially see some play in the future here. I'm gonna pick the next card, and then obviously we'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
discuss the last card because there's only 5 of them.
Mhm.
We're gonna talk about Atmos. Atmos is a 4K 5,000 or 4-drop 5,000. Whitebeard Pirates, 1K counter. Effect when attacking if your leader is Edward Newgate. This one is specifically Newgate locked.
Oh, is it?
You cannot add life cards to your hand using your own effects during this turn. So, if you need to set up like a blocker and make sure you don't take your own life, you can play this the turn before. You can swing with this, play the like double Marco blocker if you need to, pass, still have 2 Dawn open for like an event or something, like 2 events or something, and then you don't pick up your last life and you have 2 blockers, so you really just get to play safe. And then if they don't clear this card, guess what? It just gets to do it again.
His being on attack is very strange to me. Being Whitebeard locked is kind of cool. He's a slash. You gotta watch out for them. They're gonna start actually making me want to care about attributes again. And
Oh yeah, I mean because we only had like 2 cards to care about attribute being,
and 3 of them were button.
and 7 of them were buggy.
Yeah.
I think this card is very unique. Again, it is only playable in Newgate, so we'll have to see if it really matters or not. But I think overall it's a very unique and cool card.
I think on that card it comes down to if we're ever gonna get another Whitebeard. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Moving forward, if we ever go back to like Marineford
Yeah.
in the set, we more than likely will get a Whitebeard leader.
Yeah.
And if it is red and some other type of color, it won't matter then. So.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, guys, the other SR of the set being Ace, which is power 6,000, cost 5, counter 1,000. It is a Whitebeard Pirate type only, and its effect is if your leader includes Whitebeard Pirates, this character gains Rush, so it gets to be played in Ace, Marco, and Whitebeard. This card can attack on the turn in which it is played, that's the effect of Rush, and then once per turn, if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, not destroyed, not KO'd, not trashed, removed. If this character was removed, you may give this character minus 2,000 power during this turn instead. So we get a card that gets to stick. We get a very nice on curve, right? 5-drop Ace that gets to be played. And not only does it get to be played in Whitebeard, because it is Whitebeard is a Whitebeard pirate, but you get to play this in Marco, you get to play this in Ace. So it's got a lot of variety. It just cares about if the leader is Whitebeard Pirates or not, and I think this card, along with obviously the 7-drop Whitebeard, are probably just the best 2 cards out of this starter deck.
Easily.
I agree. No, I fully agree on that one.
We know how problematic cards like Adnell and Basil Hawkins are because they don't get removed, right? So the fact that this gets to just stick, granted, minus 2k power, not really that crazy. But you know what's cool about its once per turn? Although it would not get the rush, in the Sabo deck, the black-red Sabo deck, this card can like double protect itself. Oh, it gets KO. It's gonna get KO'd. No, reduced by Sabo effect, and then we're removing it again. No, we're gonna save it again. So, so kind of cool that it gets to do that. So very nice. We're gonna go with Brad. You're gonna go over. You're gonna start Uda.
Whoa, before we go to Uda.
Oh, go ahead.
This new Newgate art though.
Oh, the new game art is pretty nice.
We gotta mention that.
I'll put it on the screen somewhere.
Yeah, I want to mention the new Newgate art.
In post, I will put each of the leaders.
What is this guy doing the Lord's work?
Doing God's word, God's plan.
God's plan.
She said, "Do you love me?" Shall only part of
Okay.
We're not trying to be copyrighted.
Too late.
Brad, so we're gonna move on into Uda. Before we go into the new cards, because there are 5 new cards. This deck is crazy because it is just reprint after reprint after reprint after reprint after reprint of everything we needed.
Yep.
Which I really like, because we get like Fleeting Lullaby, which was just a promo before.
We get actual good art of Green to leader.
We get Where the Wind Blows. We get The World's Continuation. We get.
How many events are in this?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 events.
Wait, hold on.
7 events. Three of which are just reprints of the starter deck events, but then the four other ones are the promos.
Why are they so much better than the promo art?
So much better.
Honestly,
Like,
honest to God,
This starter goes hard on,
This-
in my opinion, honestly.
this starter goes crazy. And then the other thing is the Bartimeo gets reprinted in this.
that's a big. That's a big one.
The 2-drop film gets reprinted, and this card I don't think is crazy expensive right now.
Not anymore.
I'm gonna double check that. I'll put the price for this somewhere on the screen probably.
A little cha-ching at the end.
Little ba-bum. I'm gonna say it's probably under 20, which I feel like is wrong, but who knows? We'll find out.
Tune in next time.
Tune in next time. But go ahead and talk about the first card, Brad.
I'm just gonna start off with Shanks.
Ah, darn it! I would
Yep,
have started with Shakes.
Nice try.
Go
nice
ahead.
try.
Go ahead and talk.
9 cost, 11k. Film, 4 Emperors, Red Hair Pirates type. Slash attribute.
Hey, there you go.
Soon we'll care about it.
On play, KO one of your opponent's rested characters. Easy, clean, to the point.
Yeah.
Anything that's rested, gone. Poof.
Done.
Dofi, Gecko, done.
Anything.
Literally anything.
Anything, bro. It's that the bad part about this card is it's got to be a rested character, right?
Honestly,
That's not
But
that
is
much
it
of a
that
part.
is it that big of a setback?
No.
In this deck specifically, I will say yes, and the reason why is because Backlight, which is your like resting card, costs 2.
I was gonna mention that. I feel like he was
So-
statted wrong for this deck, but a certain deck in particular is not statted wrong for.
I think he had to be statted this way.
Yeah.
Or otherwise the deck would have been just a little bit too overpowered.
So-
I mean, it does let you go one on Uta.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like he's perfectly cost 9, so then you can just put that 10th on onto Uta and just draw a card, right?
Yeah.
I think he's fine. I don't think the requirement of the character being rested is that much of a bar to clear.
Not realistically, no.
Because, especially if you can kind of set up a turn or even maybe pair it with Kid, if we go back to being a fortress strategy, have Kid where they just have to throw all these attacks at the Kid, and then you just follow up with Shanks, KO their biggest card on their field, and then draw a card with Uta.
I think this deck gets just completely more monotype. So I don't think Kid gets played, unfortunately, anymore.
Most likely not, but
No.
I think it's still. I think
It's still a viable strategy, for
I
sure.
think some people are still going to be playing the fortress strategy to some
Right.
degree.
That or Dopey, to a degree.
I
right?
do actually really like Fleeting Lullaby, which obviously is a reprint of a promo.
Right.
But
Right.
the fact that you can just keep 2 of their things from becoming active
Yeah.
is pretty nice. Obviously, that's Green's whole shtick is like resting stuff and then sometimes just locking it down.
Yeah,
Maybe that just comes from me playing the birdcage, but
that's fair.
What before we
Also, what's really cool about Fleeting Lullaby is there are strategies like Red Green Law, for example, that rest down your restand your stuff, right? And Fleeting Lullaby's trigger activates the effect of Fleeting Lullaby.
Yeah.
So you're kind of forcing them to kind of just play around it a little bit, which is kind of nice. But like you were saying, just the fact that you get to lock down 2 cards potentially that are going to be problematic the next
2
turn.
4 costs.
yep. They do have to be 4 costs, but there are a lot of relevant 4 costs, right? Like there's Kid and Killer, there's Borsellino for a blocker, Rebecca for a blocker.
Yuma, Rob Lucci, so many 4 costers.
Yes.
That do really matter. And even in Raiju, right? Like Raiju is a 4 cost. Porsche 3 cost, right?
Yep.
Pretty much every deck.
I just want to make it clear that we make sure that we emphasize it's the 4 or less.
Yep.
Yes, 4 or less. Yeah.
I think if this card said 5 or less, this card is bust.
A little
No,
too
because
good.
Backlight does 5.
KOs.
KOs and rest to 5 or less.
Yes.
Yeah.
4.
So I think if you it's just too much synergy. You know?
Yep. Yeah. 100%. I agree.
But real quick before we move on to the next card, I will say I do think with all of these promo events being printed into this deck, I think it could maybe people have been kind of forgetting about these cards just because of the fact they were the promos for
Yep.
the Uda starter event.
Yeah.
So I think with these promos being in the starter deck, people might start playing them more. So I think it might be some cards you should keep kind of in the back of your mind. Be like, okay, is this a card I need to play?
I think I am very excited to see all these promo events. The one promo I'm not excited to see is this 8-drop Luffy, the vanilla just 10,000 8-drop Luffy.
No one's sad to see.
And the reason why I'm actually not disappointed it's in the starter deck because it's just a film bomb you get to drop, right?
Yep.
My issue is there is a very important card missing from the starter deck.
It's not me.
Yes, but no, that's not what I was talking about.
Oh, it's Zora.
In the original Uda starter deck, there is a 3-drop Uda card that is your blocker that restands stuff. It is nowhere in this starter deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
It is nowhere in this starter deck. And I understand you already reprinted the other 3 major hits from the starter deck, being New Genesis, Backlight, and I'm Invincible.
Which those cards aren't even that expensive.
But those cards aren't expensive because they were also just mad reprinted in the ground due to the Uda event packs that everybody got. Especially when the Bandai was like, "Hey, here's 1,000 of them because we fucked up."
Yep.
But dead ass, right? But Uda was not in that promo pack. So there's no reprint of that. So does that make that Uda card? If you want to play green Uda, I would recommend picking those up now because if this deck is viable at all, they go up. So that's just my recommendation for the fans out there and for the people who want to play this deck. But we'll go ahead and move on to the next card, Mr. Seth.
This Uda blocker.
Different.
This new Uda blocker, 4 cost 6K special attribute. Let's get that clear. Only film, blocker, active main. Once returning, you may trash a film type card from your hand on an event. Film type card from your hand. Give one of your rested Dawn to your leader or one of your characters. I like it.
What's really nice about this card is if you tap out, you can still put a card under your Uda and make it playable. Make your Uda search and swing at the same time. I will say the trash is a little bit of a cost that I don't want to pay. However, you're like, oh, this card's dead in this matchup. I can discard it and just hopefully get a new film card. Which, like I said, I think this deck just really does become super monotype. So I think it's just way easier for you to be able to I'm ditching a film card and I'm guaranteed to hit a film card.
Yep.
Right. So it is a really nice addition to the deck.
I like that it is specifically the film type and not just the event.
Not discarding a song.
Oh yeah. Discarding a song or just an event because isn't original Uta just an event?
Yeah, but it's any event.
It's any event.
Not film.
Okay.
Not film. It is any event.
Okay.
Because if you look at all the event cards, they say film/music on them.
Yep.
So I'm really glad that it didn't say something like to have to discard a music card.
Yep.
So, really, really important. And I love the art on this card.
Same.
I think the art on this card is phenomenal. Probably one of my favorite new arts for these starter deck cards coming out.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't realize that all these events were getting completely new art. I was gonna totally pass on this deck. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
It looks really nice.
Yeah,
And
no,
I knew it was
It's
gonna
why I picked up a sealed Uda starter from Ryan literally last week.
And one Nami. You
I'm
picked up a
trying-
Nami too.
I'm trying to get ahead.
Just trying to
be.
go
Oh,
back.
I sold my Namis. So.
But by the way, have you guys seen the price of Namis?
Not lately.
So
Unfortunately.
because RP Law got hit, the Namis were down to like $4 a piece. The film Namis.
Yep.
And the alt arts were
Check yourself. They're about
all the
9
arts
right now.
all the alts were less than 15.
Yep.
Both alts are over 18. They're like 19 now, and then the regular is like $8-9. So, really excited. I think people are really excited to start being able to play Uda again.
I just personally, I don't like the film alts with like that gold background. Personally,
I don't like the Nami one from the main set, but I do like the premium card collection version.
Also, the alt Luffy's nuts.
The alt Luffy is nuts. That's why it was my number 5. Thank you very much. In the alt card battle that we had.
Yep.
So
And I'm looking for the so you
Yeah.
guys.
While you guys look for alts, I want to mention something with the Shanks that I don't think any of you like actually.
fully embrace. Sure. Tell me why I'm an idiot. Go ahead.
I'm not saying I'm an idiot, but
No.
this
It's
card
not
kind of
like
go
the
crazy
game.
in Bonnie. Does it not?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like that card kind of go crazy.
100%
in
because your
Bonnie.
leader just gets to lock down a freaking card automatically.
Like that's pretty spicy for me.
Yeah. Wait, you don't know what the alt art Luffy looks like?
Not off the top of my brain, no.
Oh
'cause
my
I haven't had any interest.
He got the hand in front, he got the fist cocked back with a pirate hat on. Oh my god.
And he says, "Your heart." It's like,
He said, "Yarn, I'm after your treasure."
I wonder if the way they built this deck, and specifically, they're kind of seeing if Ucha can go all in on just the I'm Invincible plan and just the full film event stuff.
I think that this deck gets to be a hyper aggressive film deck moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think all the events that we have like really play into that well.
Yeah.
But I will say, and I'll talk about this card next because it'll be my turn to talk about it.
Oh yeah.
One of the events bounces your stuff back and then gives plus 1,000 for every stuff thing that you bounce.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the cards is a 2K that you're more than likely going to just put on the board and then bounce it later because of its effect. So we're going to go ahead and talk about it. It is a 2-drop Luffy, Attribute Strike, for those, 2-drop, 3,000 power. It is a 2K, and it is Film Supernova Straw Hat Crew, and its effect is if you have a rested Uta, not character, not leader, just a rested Uta. This character gains 1,000 power. So for one Dawn investment, this thing is a 5,000 swing. And then, like I was talking about earlier, with I believe it is the role's continuation, which it looks like it is. If your leader is Uda, you may return any number of your characters on your field to the owner's hand. Up to one of your leader character cards gain 2,000 power during this battle for every returned character. So just off the event, you can like have the Luffy swing the turn prior, have 2 Dawn open. You're able to combo bounce like a Luffy and I don't know, maybe like some like you need to replay Shanks for whatever reason. So you bounce the Shanks, that's 4,000 power there. Oh, you swung 10,000. Let me discard the Luffy at this point, right?
Yeah.
So, I think these event cards are gonna combo a little bit better now into the deck as we know them. And you know what? Let's just talk about the event cards real quick because I think some people just don't know what these are because they were never like mainstream played because they just kind of weren't that good when they came out. But I do think they're going to be better moving forward. We've already talked about Fleeting Lullaby, so we'll go skip that, and we just talked about the World's Continuation. Where the Wind Blows. If your leader is Uda, cost 2, set all of your film type characters as active at the end of this turn, so you get to be like hyper aggressive with your blockers, your 7-drop Luffy, your new Uda that we just got, stuff like that. And you make it to where your opponent just cannot swing into your stuff.
Yep.
The other thing with this card is good for the mirror match because you get to restand your Shanks, and then their Shanks cannot help your Shanks, which I think is very important.
Yep.
The last event that we are going to talk about is Top Musica, and as main you may rest one of your Uda cards, rest up to 2 of your opponent's Dawn cards. I think I talked about this in our OP9 discussion video that I did when we got like a bunch of the OP9 cards released, and I discussed some of the cards.
Yeah.
Which we will be doing a podcast about OP9 eventually when the set comes out. We kind of see how the meta shapes up for that. But I think moving forward, we go from a blocker heavy meta to an event heavy meta because of one card in particular being Goldie Roger, because if you activate blocker, you lose.
True.
I think that is going to shape up the meta because you're not gonna want to use your blockers because I don't care if I go to 0 life. If I go to 0 life and I drop this freaking card on you and you don't have the cards in hand, and I'm just forcing you to like lose, right? So I think we go into an event-centric meta where like the Bonnie deck's good because it gets to search and play Payne Gibson. You got like all these other decks that like, oh, here's the events, here's this, whatever. Don't need to worry about blockers. This card is really good in that meta.
Yep.
Green purple Doflamingo, anyone?
Like so you have a you have a lot of I think that's just how things are going to shape up moving forward, and so I think a card like this is just going to do really well.
I really wish this card had a trigger of some kind. I think it would have actually made it just that little over the edge for me.
Yeah, this and I think Continuation don't have triggers, and then Where the Wind Blows has pretty much the same trigger effect, except it just immediately sets all your stuff to active.
Yep.
So funny enough, you can block like 2 things with like double Luffy. They swing, trigger this, and you just have 2 blockers again, which is kind of nice. So, and then Mr. Brad, go ahead and pick one of the last 2 cards, and then we'll just go on to the last card.
So I'm gonna pick the Gordon.
Okay.
2 cost Wisdom attribute. 1K counter.
Wise.
Just film type. He's a blocker, and then on your opponent's.
How much power does this card got?
11. 0. No power.
No power.
He's as powerful as Super. So, on your opponent's attack, you may trash any number of music cards. Take note, music, not film. Type cards from your hand. Your leader or one of your characters gets 1,000 power during this battle for every card you trash.
I really like this card.
I would also really like this card if Nico Robin wasn't a monster. That was just like Gordon. God.
That's fair, but we also have to like think and realize, right? The Straw Hat deck moving forward is not a red Straw Hat deck.
Yes, but I just want to make that.
No, 100%. But I think honestly, with like how the meta is going to be shaping up and whatnot, I don't think Rebecca's going to be as big of a powerhouse as it was before.
Yeah.
So
I think, I don't know, with Rebecca still also being a very popular card, I think red decks are still going to be playing probably at least a pair of Robins, right?
But if you look at like the overall decks of like that have blockers, for example, right? Realistically, looking at black decks or decks in general, it's just Gecko and Lucci playing Rebecca. And those hold on. The very prominent decks. Let me start there. Whoa! What about my
What about the guy?
What about the gabagoo? Those decks playing Rebecca kind of died down a little bit going into OP8 with no RP Law around, the stage hit, right? Since a lot of these new OP8 leaders and the starter decks are going to do really well. Because of that, I don't think that Nico Robin is going to be as around and problematic because it's just not going to be as played. And even like the Zoro deck goes into the animal build, and I don't think it played, like the last list I looked at played no Nico Robin.
I don't think the animal list is as real as we want it to be. It's really cool.
Oh, it's real. It's really real. Especially with no RP Law around. I think that. I mean, that's the only reason that deck suffered so much as RP Law. But we'll see. We'll see moving forward. But I really, really like this card because it's a double blocker. That's essentially what it is. It's a double blocker. It's a free event and a double blocker and a blocker.
Yeah.
Right. So I really like that because you're gonna have some matchups that like, oh man, this backlight is dead. Right. Like my opponent's deck only plays big bodies. His backlight's dead. Cool. It's at least 1,000. This card is a what's it called? It's Ace. It's Ace Leader.
Yes.
Right? It's just Ace Leader built into a blocker, which I really, really like.
Yep.
Because even if, like, Perona rests this card to make sure you can't jump block, you can still combo.
Yep.
Right? So I do really, really like this card. I like the design of this card. And Gordon is just like a supporting character in the film for people who've watched the film. I don't think either of you guys have watched the film Uda. Maybe that would be a fun video if I just like record your guys' reactions to the movie. I think that would be fun. But he's a supporting character in that, and then he is just a supporting character in this deck. So I'm really excited for that. Last card for the Uda starter is Katakuri. Funny enough, film Big Mom Pirates. Cost 3, 4,000 power, strike attribute because it matters, counter 1,000. It is just a static effect, which is if your leader has the film type and you have 6 or more rested cards, this card gains plus 2k power. So in your deck, this card is realistically just gonna always be a 6,000 swing.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be using your Dawn for stuff. You're gonna be swinging with your board. You're gonna be swinging with your leader. Right, like this card is just going to be a 6,000 swing no matter what. And then the same thing, this is a card that can get bounced to hand, right? Big thing, by the way, for this, it is 6,000 power on both turns because it does not care about whose turn it is.
It's just a static.
So very, very exciting. And this card is future-proofed to be played in other film decks because it specifically requires a film type. So if we get like a green purple film leader or like a
green yellow
a green red film leader or like Big Mom's not in any of the films, so that doesn't work.
They can always make a new film.
You're right. But this card is designed for future film, which I really like. So
it's better than Vanilla Zorro.
Yeah, 100%. Image of the leader art here. I personally am very big fan of the original. However,
Really?
I was like,
I really like this art.
I really like it. It's a really nice one.
I really, really, really like this
I
art.
also I absolutely love this art over the original. But
I mean, I still love the original, but this art definitely takes the cake. So, moving on, Monsieur Seth.
Do we want to?
We're just gonna go in order, so you get to cover Dofi.
Okay. Well,
Let's start with this. The leader art. I'll show an image here. I'm not the biggest fan of this leader art. I think it's good. It's dynamic, right? But I don't know what it is. But I
dig it. I like that it's showing his the string on his fingers.
I do. Okay, the
power.
effects, right? The effects I really like for this art. But I feel like they just could have made him a little bit more.
He is at a weird angle, right?
Yeah, because they could have done like the signature, like
yes,
or even like I think what would have been really cool for the art, which I talked about this in the.
You've talked about it several times.
Okay, the stepping on the step where he's trying to step on Law.
Yep.
Like I think that would have been such a cool leader art too, just to show like because he is the villain, right? Like if you look at villains that Luffy has faced.
Oh wait, he's a villain.
Oh fuck!
I thought this was a hero of the story.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
he's the One Piece.
He is the piece of one.
He is a piece of something.
He's a piece of something. Let's talk about a couple reprints here real quick. Oh, you know, I realized Gecko Moria is reprinted in the starter deck.
Yes, sir.
I thought you knew that.
No, I did not. I did not realize Gecko Moria.
$9 common from a starter.
$9 common from a starter.
Oh, don't
It
forget.
is reprinted.
Overheat, baby.
Overheat, kind of low key.
OG Nami type. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited for Overheat. The blocker Dofi. Really big reprint.
Big.
Jinbei.
Really, really big.
It's the wrong Jinbei.
It is the wrong Jinbei, but it is the event Jinbei.
Brad, this card used to be like $100.
Yeah, but that was also because
You got no neck in this art.
Bandai. He has no neck. He a fisherman, brother. What are you talking
We don't
about?
get this shit out the yard. It's pretty good though.
He a fish. He ain't got no neck anyway. What fish you know got a neck?
He looked like he about to fuck your shit up.
Hey, why did I sound like real quick? Why did I sound like the jellyfish from Shark Tale? He ain't got a neck. Oscar, I'm not a nobody. I am a wiener. Anyway, again, copyright issues. So, a couple other reprints. We get the 2K Mihawk.
2K is a big one.
And then
Blocker Law.
Blocker Law, which has been reprinted into the ground.
Into the dirt.
Is awful. But we'll go ahead, Seth. We're going to start with you.
Bear, what are you chewing on?
Himself.
No, he's chewing on the pillow. He had like a thread down his throat.
Yeah, he does that. He's special. He's just a special guy.
He had a whole thread on the pillow.
Jeez, Bear.
That's not why.
Okay, all right. Pick your card, guy.
I'm gonna steal this. I'm gonna steal it from both of you.
You're gonna say Boa Hancock.
This boa is insane.
Funny enough, not the card I wanted to talk about, so that's fine.
4 cost, no cannon, special attribute. 6k power, 7 warlords.
She's special, alright.
She's special. Blocker, on play, look at the top 3 from the top of your deck, place them on top or bottom in any order, then give up to one of your Rested Dawn, one of your 7 warlord type leaders or character cards.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this card is so good.
This card is so good. I've already talked to them about some of the like turn combos and stuff that you get to do. So on your 6 Dawn turn, so your third turn going second, you get to play Jinbei from hand, leaving you 2 Dawn open. You get to play this card from hand. Going to attack, stack your deck, so now your Dofi effect is live if you had the Dawn for it. Oh, but wait, you get to put one of your Rested Dawn on the Dofi leader, attach one of the other Dawn, so you have 1 Dawn open, 2 Dawn under, swing, tap, play another card, so you potentially, on your 6 Dawn turn, get to quad body. Because if it's a Jinbei on top and you have another set of Warlord cards in your hand that you get to play, like you just get to go crazy.
That is,
I did watch some testing with some of the new Dofi cards. I did watch someone do the exact thing you're talking about, but they played Law of the Jinbei, reset the Jinbei, played the boa, and I was like, oh,
dude,
no.
like yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
this is gonna happen a lot.
This deck gets so crazy. I will say, by the way, so far all of the Dawn attachers have had no combo power. Uda did not have combo power, and neither did Whitebeard.
So, oh, okay.
Yeah. So also, I will say, Boa and Whitebeard are both on play. Uda so far has been the only one that's just activated.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't think we really need to discuss this card anymore.
Nope.
It's just insane. And this card is just genuinely insane.
Yep.
Gets to do the stacking that the deck wants to do.
Yep.
Right. And that's kind of one of the issues that Dofi has right now is we don't have enough stackers that are searchable. This card is also searchable because it's 7 warlords, and we actually go and play the Sengoku list now. The Sengoku build.
Sengoku.
Yes. So, yeah, crazy. The card I'm going to talk about. I know what you guys are thinking. I'm going to talk about Law.
No, you're gonna talk about.
I'm talking about Buggy, baby. Buggy.
That's
Cost 1, power 2000, counter 2000, / attribute. He is 7 Warlords of the Sea and also Buggy's Delivery. I don't know if that's a typo on his typing or if that's going to be his actual typing. I don't know.
I think it's a mistranslate.
That's what I mean. But if Buggy's Delivery is what it is, maybe that's I don't know.
It could be for the new Buggy Leader stuff.
No, because that's cross guild. So I don't know.
I feel like most likely than not, like that's probably mistranslation. It's probably like Buggy Pirates or something like that. Right?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
But this thing is just a baby piranha. On play, look at 3 cards on the top of your deck and place them on top of your deck in any order. The big things here is A, it's a 7 Warlords of the Sea.
Yep.
B, it's a 2K. And that's really it. Like
I think the biggest thing is that it's a 2K.
It's a 2K.
It's a searchable.
It is a
2K.
searchable. It's another searchable 2K.
Yep.
And it is a stacking effect because if you just 2K out of something, you can play Gecko at this back, stack your deck, and then move forward.
Yep.
Right. So, very, very excited about these cards coming out. Michel Brad.
So I'm actually going to talk about
Crocodile.
I
thought you were going to talk about Croc. Yo.
So Martial D Teach, cost 2, special attribute, 3k power, 1k counter.
Hey, what does he teach?
He teaches Dofi how to fuck your shit up.
Alright, fair enough.
So 7 Warlords, Blackbeard Pirates typing, activate main once per turn, place a card from your hand at the top of your deck, give 2 Rested Dawn to your leader or character. The card is messed up. So he sets up your Dofi for free, basically, giving you that Dawn.
Yeah, your 3 Dawn turn, you get to play this out, put something on top of the deck, put 2 Dawn on the Dofi,
Yep.
and then still activate Dofi.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, however, my tech with this card, Zoro Sanji leader.
Go. This. Stop.
Pop off, King.
No.
Use
Turn
Zoro
off the
Sanji.
camera. Let him
No,
rip.
So-
let him pop off. Let him pop off.
Activate Teach. Put Dawn onto Zoro Sanji.
Okay.
Bounce your Dofi to hand.
Okay.
After you've already played it, having their board locked.
Okay.
Next turn, oh, look at that. We get to play Dofi again. Put 2 Rested Dawn onto your leader, bounce Dofi again. You can keep your opponent locked under Dofi.
Do flamingo.
You can lock down your opponent out of playing it.
We're talking about just for this deck. Heathen. No, I was kidding. No, that's true. This card has a lot of multi-use, and they went a little hard on this art.
The art goes crazy.
This art goes crazy. I understand that it is the 7 Warlords version of Teach, so it's when he is like dark, corrupt, evil. But man, they went real hard on this art.
Yeah.
But way better than any Martial D Teach art we've had.
Whoa!
The bro.
That 4-drop. We played a lot of that 4-drop together, me and you.
Yeah, but that would awful.
That 4-drop was awful because we were just like, please, sir, may I have a card? I want to say one thing.
Okay,
I did do some snooping around.
Oh, he did snoop.
I saw some Warlord Namis.
Hold on. We got a snooper. We got a Snoopy.
I saw some Warlord Nami lists in testing this card. So
I could see it.
I just want to mention it.
I could see it.
Kind of spicy.
I could see it. The big thing for me is just this card really doesn't do anything with like the 2 Rested Dawn to a Nami deck, right?
Does it?
I mean, sure, your Nami swings 7 and maybe you mill another card, but like
7 at like almost every turn, setting up the top of your deck for redraws,
I mean
for
that's
mills.
that's
like,
true.
It has a little bit of potential, I think. I would like to see where that deck goes.
The thing is, though, is Nani wants to keep cards in hand, and the fact that this card puts it on top is kind of a little bit counterproductive. Now, I understand what you're going to say, like, you're going to put a dead card on top of the deck and then it gets milled out by something else later, but we have a lot of cards that just discard already from hand.
Yeah.
Kaya, stuff like that. So I don't know if necessarily this card is I would like to see the list eventually, and we can definitely, like, look into it. I would love to look into it, but obviously,
just for the thinker, you know.
For the thinker, we've talked about 3 different decks for this card.
No.
So, just making a general statement here before we go to the next card. Blue is a powerhouse going forward.
Yeah, 100%.
Because even Boa picks up stuff from this. Like Boa picks up the Boa blocker, we pick up the Trafalgar Law.
Yeah.
I've even seen a lot of lists just playing the buggy because it's a 2K that can set up the top of our deck.
I think what's really cool about this deck moving forward, this starter deck moving forward, is it makes the 9-drop Sanji that came out in 06 that much better.
Yep.
It makes it that much better moving forward.
For Boa especially.
For Boa, for Dofi, for
Dofi was already on Boa.
Even the blue-green Sanji.
Yeah, whatever that
deck,
started does.
right?
Yeah,
Whatever that started does. Yeah. So, Miso Seth. Go ahead.
We've mentioned this card several times now. I'm just gonna nip in the bud. Let's talk about this law.
Funny enough, I don't think we actually ever mentioned.
No, we didn't
law
mention it.
once.
We
mentioned
We
Croc.
kept skipping over it.
So you're going to talk about Croc.
I'm gonna talk about
Oh,
law.
okay. Go ahead.
4 cost / attribute, 5k power, 1 counter, and then we have Warlords and Hard Power. On play, you may return one of your characters to your hand. If your leader is 7 Warlord type, turn up one of your characters cost 4 or less to your hand.
So on play, you can return one of your characters to the owner's hand. If your leader has a 7 Warlords of the C type, return up to 1 character. So you are able to clear blockers. And you're able to clear maybe stuff you just don't want to
Reset
sit
Jinbei.
on. Reset Jinbei. But the big thing is just talking about we talked about the red card in the Whitebeard deck.
Yep.
When attacking. So you set that up for the following turn. This instantly clears it. So you just don't get to do the protection effect next turn. It also gets around like the Marcos because the Marcos are on KO. It gets around stuff like that, right? So like this card has a lot of utility. It gets to clear blockers. It gets to clear problematic 4-drops. It gets to. I mean, the funny thing is you can just return another card of yours to your hand if you really need to.
Yep.
Or you can return like the 2K Buggy, but then you also return the Jinbei, right? Like we talked about.
Yeah.
The other really cool thing about this is there is no cost restriction on what it bounces the first time.
Nope.
So you could if the deck moving forward plays 9-drop Sanji, which I don't know if it will. But you could return that card and then bounce something and then have the 9-drop for the following turn, which is really cool. So I this card just has a ton of utility, and I just am very excited to see what these cards do. We already know. We've seen a couple of tournaments in Japan that are like, oh, here's our OP 8.5 with the RP law, and we've seen Dofi, and funny enough, and Kata's done really well with it too. But we've seen both these guys just like stomp on everything else. So really excited. Brad, I'm gonna let you take the last card on this one.
Crocodile.
Actually, I lied. I'm gonna give you your 2 colors. I'm gonna let you do the Luffy and the Smoker, the last 2 cards.
God.
I'll let you get the. So you're gonna go ahead and talk about Croc.
I'm just real quick. Why he kind of looked like a girl in this art?
Who?
Wait, you see, okay, hold on, everyone get your
Who,
little tinfoil
Croc?
height
A
zone.
little bit.
Croc?
A little bit. The face, specifically the face.
I'm just saying, Croc's a
No,
pretty man.
he almost looks too smooth. You
He
know
does.
what I
He
mean?
does.
But this
Anyway.
is also like his like pre-war ragged
Yeah.
Croc, because this is when he is still 7 Warlord. So before Luffy shows up, before like when he's in like his Baroque works,
Yeah.
like living his best life. Right?
Speaking of which, he is type Rogue.
Yeah. Go ahead. and-
4 cost special, 5k power, 1k counter. 7 Warlords, obviously, Baroque works. On play, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a 7 Warlords type, draw 2 and then place 1 on top. 1k. This card is 2k. This card is like insane. I still think this card is very, 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 very
No,
good.
this card is just stupid good.
Yep.
Again, you get to stack your deck.
Yep.
And the deck moving forward, it's just like pretty much monotype, besides like maybe the Red Rocks and Grab Blades, and maybe Kaido if the deck plays Kaido. But yeah, no, this card is crazy because you get to fix your hand, you get to stack your deck, you get to make all your other stuff live. Like it's just a very, very good card. And you know what? We're gonna pause on this deck. We're each gonna give our ratings. So write down your rating on a scale of 1 to 10 for the Uda, the Whitebeard, the Uda, this. At the end of us discussing the 6 decks, we'll reveal our rating for each of them.
Are we doing 1 to 5 or 1 to 10?
1 to 10. 1 to 10. And that can include like, oh, I really like the art on this or stuff like that, right? So just 1 to 10 overall for it.
God damn it. Autocorrect. Okay.
Up next. Oh, and then we are here for the for the Dofi. But up next is starter deck 18, and I get to start off with starter deck 18. Is Monkey D. Luffy. Here's the art here, posting here probably somewhere here, or maybe we'll just show them all at the end, make it real simple and easy. We'll go over some of the reprints real quick, and then we'll go ahead and discuss the new cards. So, reprints, when you're at sea, you fight against pirates. The 4-drop Brook, the Hongqi, I think is what its name is.
Yeah.
I was a little bit surprised about. We're getting both 2Ks reprinted in the Frankie and the Usopp. And then
Zoro.
Zoro Juro getting reprinted as well. I was a little surprised about the Zoro Juro being in here because we are getting the event pack for the tournaments
They've reprinted it quite a few times.
Zoro Juro. Yeah, it's got a couple of hits, so I'm a little bit surprised by it, but
I feel like it's kind of an unnecessary reprint personally. I just feel
do
like,
agree.
and I also just kind of agree with Henry that playing this card just feels bad.
Yeah.
Not that it's like a bad card, but it just feels so lackluster whenever I play it. I feel like the deck ramps fine on its own. It doesn't really need this. I feel like it could have been even just a different ramp card that was maybe just an on-play ramp one.
Yeah, I think it due to the fact that it has to be Straw Hat.
Yeah, that's definitely why they went with it, which I think it's fine. It's a fine reprint. I just think it maybe could have been a little better, but...
Yeah, no, I agree. First card we're going to talk about. I really want to talk about it, but I think I'm going to let Brad take it. So I will talk about the Onami. It is a 4-drop, 2,000 power, counter 1,000 special attribute. Straw Hat Crew. It is effect, blocker, and on play, if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, trash 1 card from your hand and draw 2. So we get a built-in Queen that is not reducing Dawn.
It's very strange.
It's a little reverse because you have to discard first and then draw 2. Its stat line I don't really like. The 4-drop, 2,000 power. However, I think because of the fact that it is a draw 2, I think its stats have to be that way.
That makes sense.
Because I think if you did it the other way for a card that is super searchable for this deck, it's just not balanced, right? And again, funny enough, I'm kind of fine with it being 2,000 power because it is not popped by Nico Robin. Because Nico Robin is 1,000 or less, right?
It is popped by Marco.
It is popped by Marco. It's also popped by Ninebeard.
Ninebeard.
I mean, you got a couple of those cards that'll pop it, but I do really like this art. I think it is an absolutely beautiful art, and I do think that this card is going to be good in both mono purple Luffy and black purple Luffy. So
Also, RP Luffy. I think
that's true.
Really
Yeah, this card will probably be really good in RP Luffy. I don't know if it's as good in RP Luffy as the
Queen?
other two. Yeah, I think Queen is definitely better in RP Luffy.
Yeah, I do think this card could still be good.
I think if RP Luffy is able to just like mono abuse Straw Hat Crew, red and purple, then yeah, this card is probably insane in that deck.
I mean, the deck can just, with this starter,
Will
be
just
mono
be
straw
able
pot.
to, yeah.
And
sure.
this card is still searchable by Nami.
Yes, because it is Onami. Yes,
Correct.
Mr. Brad.
Alright, we're going to talk about Luffy.
Yep, I didn't want to take it from him.
The
so-
10K vanilla. Wow.
Wow, yeah, the 10K vanilla. That's definitely not a reprint.
7 cost, strike attribute, 8k power, Straw Hat Crew type. On play, Dawn -1. Play up to 1 purple Straw Hat type character with a cost 5 or less from your hand. Being able to double body is great for this deck.
Yeah, and it plays a 5.
And it plays a 5, which is really,
It
really
plays a 5. We have a Luffy. We have a 7-drop Luffy that plays another card, but it's 4 less. It is the film Luffy, the 7-drop film Luffy.
Yep. There's also the other purple Luffy from OP. I'm looking at it right now. OP3. It's a. Anyway, but yeah. So this feels great. It's nice that the fact our double body being Straw Hat Crew feels a lot better than the Page 1 ulti double body.
Yeah.
Because if we're maybe we don't have a 5 cost in play, we can just search with when you're at sea, and then find our body, and then just play Luffy and go double body.
Yeah. Yep.
I think this is definitely a big step in the right direction for Purple Straw Hat. I think this has a lot of potential. You could even just go Luffy into the new Zoro, which one of you guys is going to talk about.
Or the Sanji, which
Yep.
one of us is going to talk
Ah,
about.
that was going to be my card. You stay
Luffy
away.
into the Sanji, Luffy into the Usopp, Luffy into even the like Urobi, where
Yeah.
you just get to then pop a 3 or less.
Yep.
Also,
Art.
Insane. Yeah, the art is very nice on
art
this
is
card.
phenomenal.
I guess I'll show that on screen here.
It's so good.
It's just
It's so worth your time to share.
absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
I will say, I don't know if you guys have noticed or not about these new cards. None of them have the Dawn attachment effect.
No.
None of them have the Dawn attachment effect.
In this deck.
In this deck. This is the I believe the only starter that does not have the Dawn attachment effect.
I think that's kind of for the better.
It is for the better because of how they design these cards. So
I like that most of them aren't Dawn -1. So
Only
I'm
Luffy, right?
well, yeah,
I
except
believe
for
it
Luffy.
is.
Luffy is the only.
Luffy is the only one.
Luffy
yeah.
is the only. But I feel like because sometimes an issue with Purple Luffy in its current iteration is we're playing so many cards that are Dawn -1, and if you don't have Kid, you're just setting back the ramp you just did with your leader effect.
Right.
So
right.
you're not netting Dawn, you're just breaking even.
Right. No, I got you. We shall say. Talk about them.
I know you want.
Honestly,
Give them the chef's kiss.
no.
baby.
I'm gonna let you talk about that one. I'm gonna talk about the one that we all want to talk about. That's the Usopp.
Oh, I knew he was gonna do it. That's why I already have it open. Look at my screen. He already.
I
has it.
really like that Usopp. 1 second. Come on. We have Usopp, 3 cost range, 3k power, 3k power, and then 2k as a counter.
Yep.
Straw Hat,
So we get another searchable 2K counter for
which
this
is
deck.
big.
Mhm.
If you have 8 or more Dawn on the field, the rest of one of your opponent's character with a cost of 5 or less. This card just seems good to me.
Yeah.
This card just seems like a very efficient 2K. It like his EZO level, almost, and like it's 2K that you're not mad if you have to play.
Yeah.
And also sometimes if you play it, it will just win you the game.
Yep.
So I'm really into it.
Yeah. 100%. I don't know
Why there's a frog in his head? Yes, I agree.
No, that's not.
Why there's a little heart in the art?
I was gonna state. There's no card in this deck that bounces a card back to hand for you, right?
No.
I don't think.
Not that I saw.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it kind of unfortunate because like some of the green decks have a way to just like bounce it back to hand and whatnot. But funny enough, this is literally the exact same Usopp card because the original Usopp card it almost does the exact same thing. Dawn ×1 when attacking if you have 8 or more, and it's a 2K. When attacking, if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, rest of one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 4 or less. Like it's almost the exact same card. They just were like, you know what?
Let's make it play.
We're gonna make it just slightly better.
Yep.
So, it's just real funny that they did that. But I do like the art. I think it's hilarious. I just think the panel art is great.
Yep.
I'm going to talk about the chef himself, Mr. Sangoro. Sangoro. Mr. Sanji himself. Cost 5, power 6,000, counter 1,000, strike attribute. Type of Straw Hat Crew. Effect, when attacking, once per turn, if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, draw a card. Pretty big. Hand advantage. Purple kind of suffers from not having a lot of cards in hand sometimes. So cards like this that hopefully you're going to get to stick on the board, get to swing every turn, just going to be able to net you advantage every turn is really, really nice. The fact that it's also a 1K counter, because like some matchups you're just like, I don't need 3 of these on the board, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like a mega dead card in your hand. It's just really, really nice for you.
I like that it's a 6K body. Not gonna lie.
And then the fact that it's a 6,000 power is really nice as well.
Because I definitely could have seen them making this 5,000 power, and the card would have been a bit worse.
I think even if it was 5,000 power, as long as it had counter power,
I think
it's still okay.
I would rather this could be a 5,000 power 2K.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
But I'm not mad at the design it has currently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm not like, oh, this
Card is absolutely good.
Yep.
That's right. And then Mr. Brad, you get to talk about this card last, man. This last card.
Zoro, cost 4/type, 6K power, no counter. Straw Hat Crew type. On play, it's a purple Straw Hat Searcher.
Yep. Specifically, just purple.
Just purple.
Just
Not
purple.
straw hat.
Specifically just
Purple straw.
I think it's fine. I'm kind of mad it's not like a 1-cost searcher, like almost every other type has. You know.
To be fair, we are getting the 1 drop
Trafalgar Law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the Shawhead Trooper purple.
Yep.
But I do understand why this card is a 4 cost, because it can hit itself.
Yeah.
Because it's not locked into non-Zoro, right? So it is able to hit itself, which is really, really nice. And then the other thing too is like just moving forward, we're gonna have like the black purple Luffy deck that's gonna search purple cards. The thing with this card is it gets to search the Straw Hat Kaido. It gets to search the new 9-drop Luffy. That is essentially just Kaido coming out in OP9. So I'm not mad at this card being a 4-drop, because you get to play Luffy, play this, have 2 bodies on board, and draw a card. And also the art is really nice.
The art's phenomenal.
Really, really like this art.
This definitely does help. One of, in my opinion, the biggest glaring issue the deck has, which is consistency.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you just don't have what you need in that matchup.
Well, and me and you have talked about the fact that, and one of the reasons why like you have kind of put purple Luffy to the side right now, is it's too many typings, so it's not consistent at all.
Yep.
It's Animal Kingdom Pirates. It is
Kid Pirates.
Water 7, Kid Pirates. It is Impel Down. It is like all these different typings that just do not have any way of meshing in the real world.
Yeah. It's just a pile of what is right now the best.
Right. And
And Kaido.
and kind of yeah. So I'm really happy with the design.
No,
of this card.
absolutely. And I definitely like that going forward. It definitely seems like they're giving Purple Straw Hat like an actual identity going forward. Purple Luffy is going to have a real identity going forward, which I'm really excited about.
Yep.
Yes.
And the new leader art, I dig it.
Yeah.
I don't like it over the alt.
No,
Yep.
I'm 100%.
That alt's
The alt's too clean.
top tier.
The alt is just good with the song.
But I do like. I'm not this far in the anime, but he's got like that big cloak, and then obviously the signature straw hat, and he's winding up to punch in the face.
He's winding up to literally punch Kaido in the face.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. So,
Yep.
very, very excited about that. Go ahead and rank that deck if you guys have not. And we'll go ahead and get into the next one.
Next one.
The next
Ryan,
one.
hit me with it. Who is it? From Down Under?
It's the man himself, Mr. Smoker.
Monsieur Smoker.
Mr. Smoker. Crocky, would you look over there?
Yeah.
There's a monkey.
I'd like to hit
Luffy.
right off the
Hold
rip.
on, one of the most ferocious pirates in all the seas.
We have brand new reprint, Virgo reprint, Tsuru reprint, Ice Age reprint, and Kobe reprint. The 3-drop Kobe.
You didn't even talk about the best reprint.
Ice Age?
Rosinante.
Yep. Thank you.
Rosinante blogger.
Do you mean the giant?
Yes, the 6,000 4 drop. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
The
is.
vanilla.
Not really that crazy about these reprints. Because of
I think it's great.
because of PRB specifically.
That's fine.
PRB included, actually.
I'm okay with
totally
this.
fine with
Because I think as
Should have reprinted Great Eruption and Unbanded.
So you're wrong. Also, Shockwave not reprinted was really surprising for me.
I'm okay with that. Shockwave.
I think that card potentially gains popularity moving forward.
It might. It's searchable. It's a 4K counter, and then you get to pop.
He just wants that Insta card to be good.
Oh no, that's not.
Out of the reprints, I would argue. So monetarily, I don't think Suru was even that expensive, but I think Suru.
Regular Surus, I think we're up to like 3s.
So Suru is probably like the best monetary reprint.
And Ice Age.
Ice
How much
Ages,
is Ice Age?
they're like 3s.
Okay.
Ice Ages are also like 2, 3s.
I bought
I
them
sold
when
a
they were
place to
still.
someone for 4s. A piece. Like,
Congratulations.
So, I actually.
what I'm saying is, like, that was recent.
I really like the Kobe reprint. Kobe is just, I think, an efficient card.
Yep.
3 cost, 4K, trash a card to KO with 3 or less. Like, getting something to 3 or less isn't. It takes a little bit of work, even with good cost reduction, but it's not that big of a bar to clear for us, especially if you look at some of the cards we have in the deck, like Ice Age or Suru.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I think they kind of missed a little bit on reprints.
The only reprint I would say they missed on, besides Shockwave, is Hina.
Hina would have been a good one.
I agree
or
with
even
Hina.
I would have taken Home Depot too.
I think Stage.
Thank you. I was gonna touch on Stage.
I
not
actually
being in
think
here.
Stage not being in here is kind of big because this deck moving forward is one of the few decks in the game that actually get to benefit off of a Stage card. We don't really have Reader. That if you look at like the top 5 or 6 decks moving forward, only one of them really plays Stage, which is Reggie.
Forgetting what card.
Like I said,
Top 5 or 6, not bottom 5 or 6.
I guess the other one being the yellow Shandara Pirates or Shandara Warriors deck also plays around Stage a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think this deck is one of those decks that actually just kind of get a benefit from Stage being in it and being played because like just starting Stage in a lot of these Stage decks, as we know with like Rapuchi, was really good, right? So, well, we'll go ahead and talk about the new cards. Brad, you get to start. Go ahead.
When he's going to start?
I've been
Finish?
so
He
excited.
gets to start and finish.
What?
I'm giving each of us 2.
What?
So you get the last.
I don't
you get the last.
God.
I'm so excited about this
Or the
starter
last one,
deck.
I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna start with Tashigi. Probably my favorite card in this deck.
Man, alright, bro. You get the other card. High five.
That's crazy. That's not the one I was going to talk about.
No. All right,
So,
go ahead and talk. Go ahead.
5 cost / attribute, 6k power, 1k counter, Navy type, obviously. On play, if your leader is Smoker, give one of your opponent's characters -4 cost during this turn. Activate main once per turn. If this character was played this turn, trash a character with a cost of 0.
Yeah.
I really like this card.
I do also really like this card.
A little unfortunate, it's specifically leader locked to Smoker. Sorry.
No, it's not.
Sorry,
it's not
Gar.
unfortunate. It's not unfortunate for anyone.
For the on play effect. it
For
is.
the on-play effect,
Yes.
but this card definitely helps Smoker a lot. It helps a lot of, it gives him a lot of life.
Mhm.
We get to trash a Borsalino.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Is it specifically trash?
Yeah.
Is really really
The
good.
fact it trashes and doesn't KO is phenomenal. We
Also-
can even go.
The art.
The art is
This is where my hand is. The art.
gorgeous.
Mm.
Yeah, I was like,
Whoa!
Wait,
Art. Everybody's towards the camera, same time. 1, 2, 3. Art.
So, the art's great. We could even just go Ice Age Tashigi to clear a 9 cost.
almost anything. Yeah.
I'm gonna be real.
I never actually looked at the text on this card.
I just knew it was Smoker locked.
You didn't read it? Oh my god.
I just knew it was Smoker locked. I was like, Brad will tell me what it does when he plays it. And then I looked at the art and I was like, guess I'm playing Smoker.
Just gonna get hit and bean boozled.
Yeah.
This card is great. Playing it on the sim has been phenomenal. The fact it's a 6k, so like being a 7k swing is not that much of an investment for us, or even
Yeah.
just sending it as a 6 to just get a 2k out of our opponent's hand. Great. I love this card. Arguably the best new card in the deck.
Yeah, I can agree with that, and the art is really good, and I think out of all of like the specific leader locked cards that we've had so far, because it's only been 2, one of them being like it has to be Whitebeard, and one of them being it has to be Smoker. It definitely is the better card so far. So, Seth, I'm gonna let you talk. I know who you're gonna talk about.
I'm gonna talk about Hina. I'm gonna talk about Hina.
Bro, he left,
Okay.
he left Gorp
Okay.
open?
So Hina, okay, first off, 4 cost, special, 6k power, no counter,
No
Navy.
counter, yep.
Dawn times 1 on opponent's turn, this character gains +4 cost. Yikes. That's spicy.
So
Actually,
wait, hold on. Art? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yes, activated once per turn, you may place 1 card from your trash to the bottom of your deck. Give up to 1 of your rested Dawn to your leader or 1 of your characters.
Yeah, this card is the best Dawn attacher so
Yeah,
far.
actually, like, mass amount of copium. I'm huffing a bag of it right now.
I'm huffing a bag of Hino.
This card is crazy.
This card's
actual guard.
crazy.
I need you guys to believe me.
He said for actual garbage.
I need you guys to please let me cook this
E-show.
No, let me cook with this one. This one's so good.
If you guys don't know, Seth is like crazy Garp obsessed. His name is literally Grumpy Garp.
Oh, I just don't understand. This card is so gas.
Honestly, like if we were not the Yonko cast, we would be the Admiral cast, and he would be Garp. There's no- there's no-
upset.
Garp, Kuzan, and then I would definitely just be like Green Bull.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, just the one that nobody knows.
Hey, someone knows about that $2 SR.
Yeah, me.
Alt.
No, really good art. Really good art. Really good design for like what the deck wants to do and the stuff that it can do. And again, it is the best Dawn Attacher as of like us getting up to this. I don't remember what the Dawn Attacher is for Kata, what it does. Like if it's activate main or not. But this card is really good for what it wants to do, and you're able to cycle cards out of the drop. I don't know if this deck is necessarily going to like hyper cycle like Lucci did, for example, right?
It's so good.
But you're able to put stuff back into the deck that maybe you could draw potentially again later. So it is like actually really solid for the deck and what it wants to do. So I am a little excited for what these cards really
Just so much coming. Oh my god, dude. Garp Pile could go crazy.
The next card. I'm gonna talk about Smoker.
Why is that art terrible?
The art's a little wonky on it.
Art's a little weird.
It's a little wonky. Cost 6, power 8,000. Actually, really like the stat typing. Attribute special. On play, you may trash one Black Navy card from your hand. Up to 2 of your opponent's characters with the cost of 4 or less cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. And what is crazy about this card is we get to play reducers for like big boys, and then this card makes it to where they just never get to swing at you. And I really whoops, I really like that. It prevents it literally just makes 2 of your opponent's dudes do nothing.
Yep.
I really like it.
Which is really important, right? Like this is the deck that just wants longevity and wants its life to stay alive for a while. And the fact that you can, funny enough, like even if nothing's reduced on the board, you can play this going second turn 3.
Mm-hmm.
It just make 2/4 just not be able to do anything. So then your Dawn investment, like your opponent's Dawn investment is going to be probably into like a big boy at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you just get longevity is really important for this deck. So. I think this is a very well, obviously art-wise, not my favorite.
The art's a miss.
He very much looks like if Marvel tried to draw an anime character.
Facts.
Yep.
Facts.
Like if you look at
Facts.
this very much is like almost like a young Wolverine-esque.
It's like when like MTG's like, oh, it's an anime card, and they're like,
Yeah.
this. And I'm like, that's.
And it's Steve Rogers.
That's not an
it's just
anime
not.
card.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Brett, you get the last 2 cards for this.
He's doing last 2?
He gets the last 2. You get the last 2 for Kata.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so not excited.
So I'm gonna start with Sengoku.
Yep. Go ahead.
Cost 1.
He's just mad because he didn't get his card. I gave you the option to talk.
No, you do. I could.
1k power, 1k counter. Navy type. On play, you may trash 2 Navy type cards from your hand. If your leader has the Navy type, draw 3 cards.
This card is really good for Navy moving forward.
Card is insane.
Not Smoker. Yes, I know you're gonna say. Oh wow, card. All right, black guy. Black blue. Sokka, just like the one that is just like mono Navy lock.
Yeah.
This card actually is really good.
I don't know what the leader does, but yeah, I believe you.
I think it's just
It doesn't
discard-
matter.
okay.
It doesn't matter.
Card's really good. I think especially if you. So I think after this starter comes out, Smoker will have a couple different deck styles to choose from.
Yeah.
So you can choose the traditional black, where black is right now with Gecko Moria. You have your Gecko lines. This helps set that up because you're getting cards into the trash for Gecko to then pull out later. And
It also helps
cycling
you
through.
find Gecko, which I think is really important.
It helps you dig, helps you find Gecko. Helps
Yeah,
you,
that's true, it does.
Helps you just find other cards you might need for the matchup.
Yeah.
Or you can be like just kind of straight Navy, where you're just kind of trying to attrition your opponent out, clear stuff 1-for-1, trying to swing 7 with Smoker.
Yeah.
Or the line of thought I've been kind of trying to take on the Sim, which has been, for me at least, somewhat successful, where you can be an aggressive Navy list, focusing more on cost reductions, so you can just have that extra power from Smoker with his Dawn attachment ability, and you just swing at them every turn, applying pressure to their life, and using the double attack smoker from the original Navy starter.
The flavor's melting on my tongue.
So I think this starter specifically, especially, I'm excited for, obviously, as you guys very well know.
Yeah.
Sengoku's nuts.
Nuts.
No, it's a really good card.
I'm a little confused they didn't make him like Flampe-esque, where he was just a 2K. I think they were being a little too safe on his design.
Yeah.
Personally.
Black Hat, I think Navy specifically has enough 2Ks that we're okay,
Yeah.
because we have Suru, we have
Yeah.
Tashigi, we have Virgo, we have T-Bone, so I don't know. I think it's fine. I definitely see where you're coming from, where they were being a little too conservative maybe, but I think his design is fine as is.
That's all right. Last card, Brad.
Garp, sorry Zeph.
Yeah, hit it.
3
Sick.
costs.
Good with pride.
Strike attribute, 4K power, 1K counter, Navy type. He's a blocker. Then you may activate main once per turn. Place 1 card from your trash to the bottom of your deck. Give one of your opponent's characters -1 cost to this turn.
I think this card is really good because we have cards like Tashigi that rest itself, right?
Yep.
To give reduction. But the issue with that is like we have so many things that like KO, like we have decks that just specifically KO rested cards or like tap down rested cards to make sure they don't freestand, right? And then like if you just swing into it, you can kill it. This card is really good for that because you don't have to rest it. You just put a card from the trash into the bottom of the deck, and you're able to give something reduction. Is it the craziest reduction? No, but is it just generally free reduction every turn? 100%. And I think that's just kind of what Navy needed moving forward.
I kind of rate the cost reduction the same as Stage.
Yeah.
Stage is obviously a little bit better because you get 1 extra on the turn you play it. But then even just going forward after that, you're getting a consistent 1 reduction every turn, which obviously over the course of a game could add up to about 8-9 reduction over the course of a whole game.
Right. We'll go ahead and show the leader here for Smoker. I will say one final statement about Smoker. Did not get a new 2K like every other deck did so far.
I think it's just kind of like what I said before. Navy especially just has a lot of decent 2Ks already. We have the Tashigi, we have Suru, we have T-Bone, we have Virgo.
Right.
I think it's fine. I'm okay with it. Would have been nice maybe, sure, but I'm fine with it.
Okay. We will go ahead and go into the last leader. And then after that we will do the draft. So Seth, go ahead and hit us with don't forget to rank your
Yep. How to do that real quick. Well, first, hit me with the reprints. How many reprints we got in this?
We have, each deck comes with 9 reprints, I believe.
Well, it's like key reprints. Right?
Oh, putting Searcher hasn't really been like mega printed in the
Yeah.
ground, but kind of a little bit important. Smoothie, not really like that crazy important. A bunch of these reprints just really are not that important for this deck. The 2K, not really that important. Like, was not like a super hard card to get.
Thunderbolt's kind of a funny one.
Thunderbolt's been reprinted into the ground, or just like printed into the ground.
Weren't the judges for these at one point like worth something?
Which
I
one?
feel like Thunderbolt,
The
2-cost event. that
Slightly,
is-
but not like.
They were like 6s, I think, but nothing like crazy. And real quick, Kata art. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not. I love Kata, but I'm not the biggest fan of this alt art.
I'm kind of into it.
Oh, I know you're into it. I can see you drill on over there.
I don't hate it.
I think it's better than the regular.
I'm actually just such a really big, phenomenal fan of the regular art. Let us know down below, regular or new alt art. So, Seth, go ahead and start us off on which card you wanna go ahead and talk about.
I'm gonna start with this Brule.
Okay.
This Brule seems nuts to me. So we have a 3 cost, 3K power, 3K power, 2K counter.
Yep. So new 2K.
New 2K, big deal. It's a beige. Like, trigger, it's just a vanilla, like 3/3. Trigger is look at the top card of your life or your
Look
opponent's
it up
life.
to one card from the top of you or your opponent's.
Yeah, that's weird. Place at the top and bottom of their life cards, and then add this card to your hand.
I think the fact that it gets to add itself to hand is really big.
It's a really big.
That's arguably the best part, right?
Yeah.
It's really big. It lets you in like one turn, like potentially in one turn, double stack because you got to stack your cup with your kata. Maybe move something to the bottom that you didn't necessarily need, and then you get to look at card for free too is really nice. And it kind of just lets you play a little bit more defensive with the fact that it gets to add itself. So I'm really not mad at this card. Also the art, the fact that she's got the mirror holding carrot in it, like just really nice. So yeah, really nice art overall. I don't know which one I want to talk about. I'll talk about a couple of them, you know. You know what? I'm gonna talk about this new 6 mom. I don't know if it's gonna replace 7 mom, but it is something that I think the deck needed, which is a mom pirate for even curve, higher end even curve. So it is cost 6, power 7,000, no counter, special attribute, 4 emperors and big mom pirates. On play, you can trash 1 card from your hand. Your opponent chooses one. Your opponent trashes 2 cards from their hand, or your opponent trashes 1 card from the top of their life. I think at your your early 6 dawn turns and whatnot, this card is really good because some people just don't want to trash the life, and so they'll just let you heal because they're like, oh, my hand's good enough that I can afford to let them have, let them gain a life. But then this card is like, hey, it's not about me gaining a life anymore. It's about, do you want to lose a life or do you want to lose good cards in your hand? I think this card is just really good and is going to apply a lot of early pressure. I think this card is free, later discard, just like 7 mom is, right? But I do like its stat line, 7,000 power. Really I think that's 7 is just a really good number. And then I'm not the biggest fan of this art, honestly, but I do like the design of the effects of the card. So
Yeah.
Man, I really tripped out on this art for a second. I thought this bitch had 6 fingers on her left hand.
I can see that.
And the way it molds all together, I'm like, damn, she got 6 fingers? She had one too many candy bars. Fuck. Brad, go ahead and talk about the next card.
I'll talk about Cracker, I guess.
Uncle Cracker.
4 cost, slash attribute, 5k power, 1k counter, just big mom pirate type. Once per turn, if this character would be KO'd by an effect, you may trash 1 card from the top of your life instead. And then it has a trigger where you can trash a card to play this card. I think it's fine. The effect is obviously, well, it's not the same, but it's similar to Rushanel. Because Rushanel is, if he's removed by any effect, this is specifically KO'd, which I think makes the card slightly worse, especially into the blue matchups that have Grab Blade and other effects that just tug characters back into the deck.
Right, or the new law coming out just bounces this way.
But I could still see this card being played, especially if the double attack Charlotte Cracker isn't being played as much. Maybe this one gets chosen instead. Just having a slightly stickier body to be able to play, because if I'm not mistaken, the original Charlotte Cracker is also 4 cost 5k, right?
Yeah, but
just
it
with the Dawn.
It gains power with the Dawn.
It gains power with the Dawn and then gains double attack. I could see this maybe for if you're trying to play a Yukata deck that's maybe trying to have a little bit more longevity, just having the sticky body on board could be a little bit better for you. I think they could have maybe either, I don't know what kind of effects they could have added to it, but I feel like they were kind of like what Seth said with Sengoku. I think they might have just been a little too safe with this card.
I think they were. We just it's not a big mom pirates card, but we have a better 4-drop 6,000 power card in Kikinojo that gets to play itself for free. Right? It plays itself for free. It's a 4-drop. It's 6,000 power. It does not have combo power, but when it dies, it gets to heal you. And I think there were a couple of ways that they could have maybe made this card just a little bit better. It could have had some kind of an additional effect, on play.
I think it could have a static effect that it gains something, right? If you're at a certain life total.
If you're at 3 or more life or 3 or less life.
If you're 3 or less life, it gets plus 1k or something.
Yeah, I think they just made this card kind of too safe, too weak overall.
I can see this card not in a Kata shell, but maybe
no
Yamato.
Oh, I was thinking of no because
I can see that
because of the protection. No already has protection, but oh, I know this last life is ass, so I'm just gonna clear it anyway.
I think the way Adele's going, we're trying to get off of the trash a card, play this card effect.
When we have stuff like Frankie, I think where this card shines with like the Yamato list is like the all-in slash extra view type with like Mihawk. Like going Mihawk into this,
Oh yeah, I see.
right? Could
yeah.
get is a little more sticky, right?
Yeah.
You're a little more aggressive. You get to clear your life a little bit while pushing advantage and having more stuff on the board. So
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
it's a little interesting like that.
I gotcha. Definitely. And then you get the last 2 cards, big dog. You get the.
Let's start with the most disappointing one for me. Charlotte Pudding, 3 cost, Wisdom, 2k power, 1k actual counter. Big Mom Pirates. On play, you may add 1 from the top of your life cards to your hand. Set one of your Big Mom types characters. Costs 3 or less. As active. 3 or less.
Yeah, you're really just looking at Parasparrow though.
Parasparrow. Trigger is rest one of your opponent's characters with cost 3 or less.
Okay, to be fair, I'm cool with the trigger being 3 or less if the on play was better.
I would have been like,
If the on play was like a 5, right,
Yeah.
where you can restand the new, we haven't discussed it yet, but the
Yep.
new blocker Calgary, you can restand like the Parasparrow, the Cracker, the Smoothie, things like that, right? Like where you just have
Yeah.
a bigger variety.
Yep.
Then I'm fine with the trigger being worse. So what they should have done is on play, restand a 5 or less, and then the 3 or less for the rest. Or I'm fine with it being 3 or less on play, but the trigger has to be 5 or less.
something.
Right, like the trigger just has to be better for this card, and it is not. This is a really, again, I think we kind of discussed it earlier. They just really played safe with these cards.
For Katakuri especially, except Katakuri himself. 5 cost strike, 6k power, 1 counter, Big Mom, blocker, on 5 drop, let's go. Activating once returning, may turn one of the top life of your cards face up, and then give Arrested Dawn to one of your loser characters.
Yeah, really good. You can just on 5 play this, activate the effect, put that Dawn face or put that card face up, make the Katakuri be able to swing for 7, look at your opponent's life, which is really good. So
Does Kata turn the card face down?
no, I wish.
I'm checking right now.
I'm like he
It just tells you to look at and then move to the top or bottom.
Yeah, look at it up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's place it at the top or bottom. Yeah, you just get to move it to the top or bottom.
Interesting.
So,
I like that. That seems like good synergy.
yeah,
Is this like something I think Katakuri like was like dire for? Not really.
I think the blocker, yes.
Interesting.
I think so.
I think the blocker, yes, and even like the Brule. I think yes because
Brule, yeah. But I'm saying this Katakuri blocker specifically.
yes, yeah, because you on your like curve where you're playing like a Gadatsu, for example.
It gives you a better odd curve, right?
Yes, because your Gadatsu turn, you're not able to stack with your Katakuri.
Mm-hmm.
You just swing 5 and then play Gadatsu pop something. Versus this, you get to set up a pretty strong blocker, 6,000 a good stat line, and then your Katakuri is still able to swing, and then you actually, and it's almost like you get to threaten your opponent with the face up life because you're like, cool, you now know I have this like we'll just say it's like a 0 cost event for whatever reason, right?
Sure.
0 cost event at the bottom of my life now. So you now have to worry about A, that card, and B, everything else after that. Like you just make it to where your opponent is gonna like either get knowledge or not get knowledge, things like that, right? I think this Katakuri is really good in this deck, but it's also really good at pudding because you're able to like,
Yeah.
if once you hyper ramp, right, you really don't care about like turning cards face up or face down or not. But you have other cards in that deck that are able to turn life back face down. So you're able to use this and those cards in like unison to make sure you're able to like attach Dawn every turn, right? So overall, I think for me, this is probably the weakest starter deck.
I'm
overall.
gonna agree.
Yep. Safest for sure.
Let's go ahead and go over our numbers. I'll make a little average for each of them up here on screen. Let's start Whitebeard. We're gonna start with you, Brad. What did you rank Whitebeard? 1 to 10.
7.
I also gave it 7.
I give him an 8.
Gave him an 8.
That's fair.
I like what it's doing.
I was kind of flipping between 7 and 8 for a while, but I settled on 7. Like, it's a good starter.
Yeah.
Definitely helps him out a bit. I think they could have been maybe a little bit more aggressive with some of their designing.
Yeah.
But I think overall still a good starter.
Yeah.
You know, getting a new 2K, getting 2 really solid SRs. One of them you could even say is better than just a solid SR being a really good SR.
Yeah.
Hitting some really good reprints. Not that they're expensive, but maybe just a little hard to find because the sets are older with Jozu, Blocker Marco. Obviously, having the Searcher in the starter, I think, is a really big hit. So, like, out of the box, I think this starter would still be fun to play.
Yeah. Uda.
I give it a 9.
You give it a 9.
I give it a
Wow.
9. I give it a 9.
I'm a little impressed. I thought you were gonna go a little lower. Like I did. I went 8.
No, I like low-key like want to play Uta again with some of these new cards, and I like what it's doing. It makes me like actually appreciate the deck a little more again.
Yeah.
Okay. I liked it a lot, but I wasn't into it when we went to like the full fortress strategy there for a minute.
Oh, I was so into it. Not the fortress set strategy, but I was so into the deck still.
Yeah.
I give it an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Brad, what did you give it?
I also gave it an 8.
Alright.
For me, this starter is also specifically this version of Uta is kind of what's prompting me to build Uta myself.
Yeah.
Not that I'm gonna be like maining Uta, but it does look like a fun deck to play.
I think it's just gonna be a really good, consistent green deck, but it's not Bonnie. And we really just have not had a good mono green deck since Uda first came out, and then Bonnie, and then we're gonna go back to Uda, which I'm. Again,
Whoa!
I think-
Even carrot.
I think this will just be a fun option to. I think it'll just be a fun option to be able to take to locals and just have some fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely a little weird that it's so event heavy. I mean, I get we have the board and blocker, but I think
Yeah.
it's still a good starter. Out of the box, to me, this doesn't look the most fun to play just because of all the events.
I think
That's
this.
not bad.
I think this deck is gonna struggle against certain decks, but I think this deck is gonna, actually, funny enough, directly counter Dofi. Because it has a lot of cost 4 or less hate, and Dofi is just all cost 4 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it is. And so the fact that this deck just like gets to kind of use Dofi for that a little bit, I think it makes Uda a contender in the future. So I'm really really excited for that. But we're gonna talk about Dofi. I'm gonna start off. I gave it a 10. Brad.
I gave Dofi a 9.
I gave Dofi a 7. Only
You're capping. There's no
Only because it hasn't made me that excited to play the deck. It's a more personal flavor. Also the art, the sides. I'm not gonna let Boa carry this thing all the way. I sat there between 8 though. I was like,
Everybody on the count of 3 boo this man. 1, 2,
That's fine.
3. Boom.
I think I make up for my smoker rating though.
All right. Well, since this man's a resident smoker player and you really don't want to do the kata first, I'll take kata first. I'll give you Luffy. What'd you put for Luffy?
For Luffy, I gave him an
You give him an 8.
That's also where I'm at. I gave him an 8.
I gave him a 9.
That's fair. No, I was.
I like the art on all the new cards. I don't think there's a single new card that misses on the art. I think all the new cards hit really well effect wise. I don't think any of them
New cards are great.
do bad.
I get it. We're a big purple deck. Vanilla Luffy wasn't needed.
No, you know why the
No,
Vanilla is there?
but every one of these decks have just reprint, then like just
Yeah,
heavy
like
and
I get it. It's a random promo and it's
But they're trying to tell all the new players, just buy the secret rare. And this deck's terrifying. I'm terrified of this deck with a secret rare in it.
yeah.
Especially
I think
the
it's
new
fine.
Super
It
Rare.
had some
That's
notable reprints. Not that it was expensive, but I think the When You're at Sea You Fight Against Pirates is a good reprint.
Yeah.
It's a good event. Literally can find you everything in the
Yep.
deck. All the new cards are great. All the new cards are playable. I think this definitely breathes a lot of new life into Luffy.
Yeah.
Smoker.
Start
10
off.
out of 10. I'm sure you guys aren't surprised by that, but
I'm not, and I'm gonna give you my rating, and I know you're gonna hate me for it. I give it a 7.
yeah,
Yeah.
I give it a 7.
The door's open.
Not your flavor.
This was my house.
Not your
Right.
flavor, I get it.
It's actually not even that. I think I honestly really like the design of the cards. For me, it is just the fact that like we missed on I think some viable reprints that could have been good in this deck,
I agree.
but also B it not getting a new 2K kind of important, and man, that smoker art is just rough. Not
Man,
the leader.
I can't be booed.
The-
And then
the
you
smoker.
do this to smoker. this is not fair.
So-
No, I think I genuinely think you know what? I'll be nice. I'll go 8. How about that? I'll
No,
actually no. What's your ranking? That's gonna determine mine.
12. I'm buying 6 of this deck.
So he's going 10, which
I'm
means I'm
10.
gonna stay at 7.
Yeah,
So-
I'm up to.
Sengoku, Tashigi, and Hina alone carry this deck so hard. It is these
Brother, you
cards-
could have stopped at G. And by stopped, started.
You could have
Yeah.
started with Hina and it would have been enough.
Those 3 cards.
You could have started with
go-
Heat and then done.
Those 3 cards go crazy. Like
Yep.
Smoker's fine too, Garb's fine. Like, but Tashigi
No,
especially.
that's fine.
I definitely think a slight miss, like you said, some notable reprints. One for me is the stage. I think the stage was a big one that they should have.
Yeah.
Not that it's expensive, but it's like
But it could be if this deck gets very popular, it's a card that's going to be expensive, right?
it's just so good.
Same with Shockwave. Again, if we move into like that event meta, we don't really have that many good Black Navy events, so they kind of missed an opportunity to reprint some cards. Same with the Hina. I know we're getting the reprint one, the collection pack.
Where do we get
I don't know,
that? I ordered that collection. I don't know what I'm getting.
You should
What
probably,
collection?
you should probably look the premium Bandai like waifu set. I think. is-
No, the one that came with Karasu and Hina and all that.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't.
I
Know.
thought we were supposed to get it this month.
I think it's next month. I think it's
Yeah.
September. So.
It's Bandai doing Bandai.
Let us- let us know in the comments. I'll start with Kata. The 6.
All right, I don't feel as bad. I give it a 5.
I also gave it a 5, but I also put a question mark. I feel like I personally can't accurately rate this deck because one, I can't say I've never played Kata, but I haven't played Kata enough to be able to fully evaluate him as a player. I also just haven't played much Yellow. I mean, I played Yurple for a while, but that's a very, very different flavor of Yellow. I never
Well, you're
played-
working on playing it.
You played Maya.
You played
I
it.
played
now.
his-
You played Papa's in
You
that.
played this now.
Weird. That's fair. Me and Ryan played Kata the most. You know, I
have played Kata the most.
took it to a fucking regional. Come on.
You went 0-3 drop.
I didn't even drop.
That's exactly my point.
That's not the
and it
point.
was my list. You played
Yeah,
my
you
deck.
forced me into it.
I didn't force you into it. You
You held me down and said, "Check this Kata curry."
This is what happened.
No, it's not.
He didn't.
Nope.
He didn't get
No
into
time.
the regional.
Yokai, guys, he said, "Time let him go."
So we showed up. I got into the regional. He didn't get in. We showed up. He got in last second. It was like three spots behind you, and that's when they cut off the line, right?
The 2 guys I was chatting with, one of them, by the way, got in. Was playing Hody Jones for the event.
Yeah. So
Got it. And I was like, "Hody Jones."
so the fact that he got in, so he was like, man, I really just need a deck to play. So he just played Kata for the event.
I had a deck to play.
Garp.
No, I didn't actually. I had like real decks on me, but I only slept like not even 2 hours.
Yeah, and you really don't need the brain power for Kata, so that's
No.
That's
I also I did the mirror 7 times that day
yeah, that's fair.
because I did side events.
He did say that's fair.
I did side events as well.
Guys, let us know what decks you think. It looks like our clear winner here is
Smoker.
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 Dofi.
Smoker.
Actually, it's I'm sorry, it's
Smoker.
actually a tie.
No, it's not.
Smoker.
Smoker.
It
I'm sorry. Look at Dofi. Look at Hina.
is not.
Look at Hina. Look back at Tashigi.
Well, that's
Look at
crazy. My smoker rating went down to 5.
So we're kicking him out of the cast.
That's crazy.
Bear?
Dude.
Get on down.
Guys, let us know in the comments down below what you think won. And then, guys, it is time for draft.
Yes, sir.
It is time to draft. We're going to draft 5 leaders. We're going to go ahead and take some time, pick our leaders, and then we will get back. So we're going to go all the way. For sure.
Where's gonna be overlap?
We're going to be overlapping on quite a few, I think. So. I'm done.
I'm ready. I had to add a couple backups just in case.
I guess I'm ready.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Decide who picks. Oh, actually, no. You get first pick.
Yeah, you
Oh, I get first
Yeah, you
pick?
get first pick. So it's just rock, paper, scissors between us for second or third.
Okay.
Sorry, shoot. One rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ah!
What do you want?
I'll last.
I wanted the double pick.
Nope. Not this time.
Damn it. All right. Brad, your pick. Start it off.
Give me starter 8 Luffy.
But yeah, you got
You can have it. Yeah, that wasn't even on my list.
I have a little bit of a sentimental connection with this leader.
Black
It
Luffy.
was my first leader. I also think he was a genuinely like somewhat decent leader to play at locals. If you had the right cards to upgrade him with.
I'm gonna just write mine down right now. Okay. All right.
Also,
yeah.
the art's kind of sick. I like the art. You know what?
You know what? That's you live your best dream. I'm going with Uda. I don't think anybody saw that. Not
She was a backup pick for me.
Uda.
I was gonna punish you so hard.
Uda.
You did
Oh
take
my
it.
god, no! There was no world I was not taking Uda.
Yep.
All right, Seth.
We're taking BY Luffy.
Yeah, I figured that would be.
Not even on my list.
It was on my
taking-
list for sure.
We're taking Kid.
Which
Which kid?
Mono Green.
Okay. That was on my list, so I kind of hate you for it.
You guys punted so hard. Oh my god.
Say his name.
Oh my
I
god.
want to hear it.
Give me RP Law, dude.
That's okay.
What?
Oh
no,
my
I didn't
God.
put a Van Leader on the list.
You didn't, bro. I didn't say they didn't need to be.
I know. I was gonna put it on the list though.
Oh my god, that leader is honestly probably the best starter deck leader printed, unfortunately.
I think that card's the best leader printed.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy that you let me just swipe or no swiping that. Brother, you were up, double pick.
RP kid
Yeah.
It was towards the bottom of my list.
and Kaido.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I am at my
RP
Kaido.
Kid. And Kaido.
Yeah, you know.
And
Especially excited for that RP kid tech coming out. We're gonna be cooking.
that's fair.
So I can't huff my bag of opium, but this guy can all day.
you can huff whatever you want, brother.
It's about to be gasoline
This is hilarious.
in this house.
Give me RP Luffy.
Yeah, that was on my list.
That's it. Yeah. Yep, that's it. I'm going with red, yellow Saba.
Ooh.
I thought about it. I thought about it.
I like that play in the list a lot. Not the big one version that Henry played. But,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna
What
go.
version that Henry played.
He played big one.
He played like 7 1. Yeah.
I'm gonna take number one. Numero one.
Red Luffy?
Red Luffy.
Yeah, I have that on my list. That was on my list.
I do remember a time when Red Luffy was like legit good.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm not surprised.
Those were the olden days, man.
Yeah.
Give me Blue Croc. Give me Blue Croc, dude.
Yeah. Alright.
I really liked that leader for a while, and
Yeah.
all right, Brad, double big time.
Give me
You're 4 and 5.
ST9 Yamato,
Wasn't even on my list.
and then blue yellow ace. Yep.
We were gonna hit you somewhere.
You guys did hit me somewhere. He took Kaido.
Are you surprised?
And you took BY Luffy and Green Kid.
I'm resident purple player here.
That's fair. Yeah, I have a couple options.
You snipe me right now?
I'm not taking Sokka. That's what you think.
No, you snipe me right now. I'm punching right in your schnoz, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you little schnoz.
Not the Schnauzberry.
No, it's gonna be the schnozberries.
I'm gonna take the new Black Luffy leader.
Okay.
Awesome. You guys like wasted 2 picks. That's super cool. I'm gonna take Shanks, the best leader in the game. 3, I won.
No, I'm sorry. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
The best film deck ever made.
Yeah, definitely not the Huda that I picked for. Man, you guys gave me probably the 2 best. You guys probably gave me the 2 best starter deck leaders to get
Oz?
printed. Well, Black Yellow Luffy's pretty
That's
up
a
there.
cause. I have
Black
Black
Yellow. Okay, top 3.
Yeah.
Man. Alright. Going down the list, Michio Brad had starter 8 Black Luffy, Red Purple Kid, Purple Kaido, Yamato, Blue Yellow Ace. I had Uda, RP Law, RP Luffy, Blue Croc, and then new Black Luffy. And then Seth had BY Luffy, Green Kid, Red Yellow Sabo, Red Luffy, and Shanks.
You just had to take that one.
I had to take that Shanks.
Yeah, the red
If
Luffy.
we were all gonna waste our picks, I might as well get one out of the way.
The red Luffy was a little rough for me. Not gonna lie, I was hoping to get that later.
Yep.
But It is what it is. I mean, you never were getting the red loop because if he hasn't picked it, I was picking it next. So there was no world where you were getting that. But yeah, guys, let us know who you think you won or think won in the comment section below. As of right now, for the first podcast video, Seth won our first podcast video. I won our second podcast video. So we're gonna, and you know what? I like to see where we're at. We can make a little challenge out of it if you guys want. First one to 3 points. First one to 3 wins. The other 2 split a box, and that person gets a box. If you guys are down. If you guys are down.
Maybe.
If you
We'll
guys
have
are
to
down.
talk about this.
Well, no, right now,
behind the
a
scenes.
man's shakes on it. Right now.
Wait, whoa.
What's that?
What box? Just a box?
What we agree on.
Just a box.
What we agree on.
I agree on just a box.
No, what,
That's the 2 that have to buy it?
Obviously a one-piece box, but we have to agree on.
Oh, do we open it?
The winner opens it.
Nah.
It's the winner's box.
And maybe the winner's box, we open it.
I mean, we'll open it on that podcast episode where
Oh,
we
okay.
announce who the winner was and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like that, we'll open it together on the cast. But whatever we pull,
This is your decision. You lock in, I lock in. You don't lock in, c'est pas league. You know what I mean?
I mean, it can just be a box of like whatever the most recent set is at that point, to make it easy.
Do half a box.
No, full box is it's
Half.
divided by 2.
Half a box.
Literally split. You literally
Well,
split.
no, but
half
like
and
winner
half.
gets half a box, then the other 2 get quarters.
Nah.
Yeah, so the winner gets to open all the leader packs. I think I like that a lot more actually. I think that sounds pretty spicy.
You know what? Sure. If you guys agree to it, right now.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
Winner gets half a box.
The winner
other
gets
two
half a
split the
box,
other
and
half.
the other 2 split the other half.
Yep.
And what we will do is we'll open the box on the podcast,
Yep.
and we will shuffle it all
And
together.
a
And then- So, guys, that was the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Any last comments, guys?
Smoker's best. Hina. That's all I gotta say.
I was like,
Hina's
you don't know the thought back.
He's the best.
I stood atop a tower, looking down on every